Here it is, the 1990 Ferrari 348. I just took delivery on it last Wednesday, and already having a problem. The driver's side window is stuck in the down position, and so obviously that's not good if it would start to rain. And the problem is actually these switches here that I guess are a typical item that go bad on 348s. So I happened to get received today brand new window switches for 348. There was a shop, Ferrari shop in Chicago, that happened to have these on the shelf at the time. Right now it's August 2020. So at the moment, the entire country of Italy, I guess, is still shut down because of COVID. So getting parts is pretty much impossible. So fortunately, I found somebody that had these on the shelf. And it does look like they're simply just unplug them and plug the new ones in, which is really great. There's no removing wires or anything like that sometimes you can run into on window switches. So it looks super simple. And the great thing is that these worked out, including shipping, they only worked out to about $70 each, which is pretty reasonable. So I'm going to give this a shot here to do this myself. Okay. So surprisingly, there aren't really, at least with short search, videos I could find on how to do this on YouTube. So you guys are going to learn with me as I make this attempt. So what I found, what I'm going to try using, you technically need plastic little pry tools that are used for interior components like door panels and things. I don't have those. So instead, what I'm going to try to use, these are technically bicycle tire tire levers for changing tires on bicycles. I'm hoping that the end is thin enough to be able to get behind there to pry this open. It may not work, but let's give it a shot. So, okay, this is not going to work. I'm going to try to find something else. So what I just noticed is these have, if you can see it, where once you snap these in, I don't, it's like a one-way thing that once you push it all the way in, then these open up and it prevents you from coming out. So I think that the way this has to be done is the whole bracket with all three switches, which one is for the mirrors and the other two for windows. We're going to have to pull the entire thing out rather than one switch at a time, because what would end up happening is you'd have to pry one switch out with a lot of force, and you'd end up ultimately breaking these off and potentially damaging the bracket, the housing that they're all three in. So we're going to try that. All right, so what I ended up getting was a micro screwdriver with a flathead on it. So we're going to give this a shot here and hope not to scratch it up too much, and hopefully it'll just pop out pretty easily. Ah, yep, it seems to have. So there's the switches, and they should, if these are the correct switches, just easily come out, and then I can pop this back in. So that was pretty easy. So what you end up having to do, the black part of this, I grab one of the new switches. The black part of this, if you look, you can see is right there. That's the part we're swapping out. The colored part is the actual plug that goes into the back of it. So the first thing we'll need to do is pull the plug out on each one, and then you depress these, which again are you can see them here on the sides, and then the switch comes out the front, and then you snap the new one in and then reattach the plug on the back. So I'm actually holding my phone to record this, so I'm gonna have to, this is a two-handed job here, so I'm gonna have to stop recording for a second to get this loosened up, and then I'll start recording again to show you. So this was actually super easy. Again, I had to use two hands, so I had to stop holding the phone here. At some point I'll invest in better video equipment, so I don't have to hold it. But anyway, you can see this just comes right out. You can see that's the plug part, and it just goes into, that's the female part of the plug, and then the male part is on the switch itself. So it's super easy. You just use both hands and wiggle that loose and use the other hand to hold on to this. So we're going to see how easy it is now to remove the plug, or the switch, I'm sorry, itself. So in theory, it should just be a matter of squeezing in. Of course, it's not that easy. I'm probably going to need to use two hands here, so I'm going to stop recording. This took a little bit more doing to put enough pressure on both the top and bottom part of the switch. The part of it that locks it into the bracket here, I actually had to use the screwdriver, the micro screwdriver used to pry it out with, to put a little bit of pressure on it. But once I did, it just came right out, and you can see it just comes right out like this. Oops. Just take it right out like that. So this is the old bad switch, and I'm assuming these might be original to the car. And again, this is a 1990 Ferrari 348. And these are just common things that go wrong with these. So let me find my new switch here. So here's the new one. You want to make sure you don't mix them up, because I don't think there's a way to tell which one's new and which one isn't. So the old one I threw in the seat, and then the new ones I had in here just so I can keep track of them. So we're going to stick this new one in, and again, you want to note the position of the switch. If you see the window image is on the top of the switch, because otherwise, well, I guess the way this is really, I guess you could put it in either way, but then the down would be up and the up would be down. So if we put it in the right way, then it'll work the way that's logical. This just snaps right in very easily, just like I did there. And then, fortunately, this is a one-handed operation to get it back together. And then this just actually, you know what? You can see on this one it's easier because it must be just because it's newer. You just squeeze both the top and the bottom. Yep. To get it to come out. So the reason I'm not going to connect this at the moment, I just realized it's probably going to be easier to pull this one apart as well if this one's not in place yet. So the middle one's probably the one that, you take this one out first, then this one, and then you go in the opposite order, put new ones in. So again, the new switches I'm keeping here. The old one I'm throwing in the seat. So I'm going to have to turn this off again to get this plug out, I think, off the back here. Yeah, that's a two-handed operation. So again, it still took two hands, but I easily disconnected the plug from the back of this middle window switch, the left-hand window switch. And again, keeping these in the same order they're in, it's just a function of which window they operate, whether it's the driver's side or the passenger side. It probably wouldn't be a big deal if, the white ended up being connected on the right side and the red on the left, other than just, they wouldn't operate the same window is all. It'd be reversed. So, but for this, we're going to keep these in the same order they were in. So I'm going to try popping this switch out. Yeah, so this is going to be two-handed too. So that definitely took two hands. What I did was I didn't want to put too much pressure on the switch itself and apply pressure here. I don't want to risk breaking it. So I used both hands. I put pressure on the outside of here and here while I pushed this in to get it all the way on, and it seemed to work. So we're going to do the other one again. The new switches I put here. And again, the same thing. The window image goes at the top. And that snaps in that easily. And then same thing on this one, I suspect, where it's not going to quite go on, where I'm going to need two hands. Right, so that was definitely super easy. And somebody with very basic skills could easily do this themselves. And again, the parts really aren't that expensive, including shipping, which I explained in the beginning. At the moment, you know, you technically can't get these unless somebody has them on their shelf already. But Italy's shut down because of COVID. It's August 2020 at the moment. But anyway, very easy. So before we push this back in place, we're going to turn it on and see if it worked or not. And again, before, the issue I was having was the driver's side window was stuck in the down position, and this occurred right after I took delivery of the car last week. So let's just see if this did the trick. We're going to put it neutral and turn the key to the on position. You see the lights, the window lights came on, and let's see if this worked or not. Okay, so I did change the switches. You can see that there. Unfortunately, it did not correct the window. So it's got to be something else. You can hear it, the motor trying to work, but it's not. The passenger side one does work, so I fixed that. But you know, the driver's side window, which was the middle button, clearly needed replaced anyway because it was broken, but it's not fixing the issue. So I'm not comfortable opening the door up and working on the door motor. Oh, and I almost forgot, I didn't show just snapping this back in place, and it's literally that simple. It's literally that simple. So it's back in place already. And again, the other switches, the lights didn't work, and the little light bulbs behind there, but they are. So we're going to switch this off and put it back in gear. So just an update on the window switch project. So it turns out that I think that the battery might have been a little low as to why it wasn't working. But I took it out for a short spin and I didn't have a chance to record it, but the switch, we'll turn the power on here. The switch did the trick and the window works. So super simple, super basic skill level to complete the repair. And you can see both windows are working. And who says that Ferraris are expensive to repair? Total part cost, including shipping, was 142 bucks. So about $70 a switch, and about 10 minutes of time and very basic skill level and tools required to complete the repair. All right, if you like this, subscribe and like the video and look for more like this. Thank you.